high schools. John, you're going to like this one. It goes to you, Mr. Morris.
Yes.
With post-secondary tuition rates increasing past the rate of inflation, and students' personal private debt growing more and more in the quest to a higher education, what solutions do your party plan to offer students?
Thanks, Greg. Very important question. It's something that the Conservative government has focused on really almost since 2006. A lot of effort has gone into identifying what the jobs are and trying to match students up in that chain to get them from high school through their training, whether it's university or community college, and into a career that actually will support them and help address their obligations and be able to support a family. So that is the first step. But for those that are from lower income families, a number of specific steps have been put forward. The Registered Education Savings Plan. We're proposing to double the federal matching grants for low and middle income families. With regards to student loans, there's increased student forgiveness, student interest forgiveness, reduced mandatory parental contribution, which means that those in the more affluent families, the students may still have access to student loans, which they might not have had before. And we've opened up student loans for more programs. Apprenticeship programs, the federal provincial employer program up to $15,000. So when the student goes in the program, they know at the end of the day there's a good paying job for them. And enhanced apprenticeship tax credits, expanding that program from $2,000 to $2,500 and extending it for a third and fourth year. There's a whole menu of things that we've done to try to facilitate the successful transition from high school into a career.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Mr. Curry.
Yeah, we have to recognize, of course, that this is provincial jurisdiction. However, there are transfer funds from the federal government for post-secondary education, which the Conservatives cut by $30 million a year, those transfers. The NDP will restore that. The NDP policy is to restore the federal role to make post-secondary education accessible and affordable. But beyond that, the NDP plans to implement a plan in partnership with the private sector and nonprofits to help 40,000 young Canadians get jobs, co-op placements, and paid internships. They will require youth apprenticeships in all major federally owned infrastructure and public work projects. Any project greater than $10 million will be required to hire apprentices and get them their first job. They will provide grants to municipalities and Indigenous governments to hire apprentices in local infrastructure projects. We will provide $5 million in grants annually so that local governments can create 1,250 youth apprenticeships each year. And apprenticeships.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Mr. Bryson.
Liberal government will increase student loans available and also bringing income contingent loan repayments that when people graduate and they're not making a lot of money, there's flexibility on that. But the job issue is really the big one in terms of young people. We have the lowest job quality in Canada in 25 years according to CIBC. 193,000 fewer jobs for young Canadians today than in 2008. And the Harper government has cut the number of jobs created by the Canadian Summer Jobs Program, Canada Summer Jobs Program, by half since 2005. So when we have a greater need, the government is actually doing less to give young people, not just earnings to pay for college or school or university, but the work experience they need. A Liberal government will also create 40,000 good youth jobs, including 5,000 green jobs, so that young people can participate in exciting opportunities of the green economy.
Thank you, Mr. Bryson. Mr. Cooper.
Post-secondary education and skills training not only benefits individuals, they help the economy and society as a whole. For this reason, following the example of many prosperous European countries, we want to make post-secondary education free for Canadians by 2020, beginning right away by providing additional funding for First Nations. By 2020, we also have budgeted to forgive all student debt over $10,000. This is an ambitious plan, but Canada can afford to make this investment in its youth. All we need to do is reevaluate our priorities. The Green Party's plan to legalize and tax marijuana, for example, will provide enough funding to pay for our universal post-secondary education program. So, as a friend of mine humorously noted, in an indirect way, university students will still be paying for their educations. Finally, the Green Party plans to create a guaranteed livable income, which will provide financial support for Canadians while they study.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper.